One of the great things about an Illini Nation, this is going to make your head flip because the first year it happened, of course, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it because I didn't have a stake in it. But it's a high stakes, as Mike said, winner take all. That all is a purse of $1 million. Yes, that's million with an M. Why couldn't they have this when I was playing?
Right.
So you talked about the makeup of the teams. So the makeup of these teams is normally guys, as you mentioned, that have played or played overseas or played in the NBA, and now they're guys that are coming back and getting together, or just regular guys that play some level of college basketball. What? How did you get involved with this? I guess that would be a great start. Let's start with Mike Latulip and how he came to the TBT.
Yeah, well, anyone that knows me knows I'm a basketball junkie. I live it, I breathe it. Just at my wedding a couple weeks ago, my brother, during his best man speech, brought up the NBA encyclopedia. I used to have it when I was younger. I used to read it. It was my Bible, so to speak. And I just love this game. I live it, I breathe it, and the inception of the team itself. At first I had just been watching the tournament, and I think year after year was sitting there saying, "Man, why do we not have an Illinois team in this?" There are plenty of overseas talent. Myers has gone on to the NBA. Obviously Darren played. There are a lot of guys that have played in the NBA, but also there's a ton of international talent. And when I say international, I mean these guys that are going over and playing in Italy and Japan, in Germany and Estonia. So how can we put together a team that has that alumni feel to it, and go after this whole thing and win it? And I think, I was approached. So Michael Finke, who obviously played at Illinois, he played in the TBT, and I believe it was the 2019
Mm-hmm.
TBT, and he was approached by the TBT and said, "Hey, would there be the possibility to put together an Illinois team? Like, there's a lot of talent, like I said." And they basically said, who could do that? Who could kind of pull that off, and who has the bandwidth to do it? Uh, and he was like, "I think I know a guy." So Finky had reached out to me, and this is something that, like I said, had been in my mind for years. So it
Right.
wasn't like it was a foreign concept. And he had asked me, and I kind of put out some feelers, because the whole point is, cool, I can take the reins, I can put together the team, but if there aren't players, there's no team.
True.
And you start the process of kind of putting out these feelers and saying, hey, if we were to have a team, would you play? Would you entertain playing? Like, is this something that you would be interested in? And by and large, a lot of the people that and players that I talked to said, tell me where to be, tell me when to be there. Like, I'll play. And that's kind of how it all started. This was back in September of 2019. So go from September 2019 to July 2020 when we played in the tournament. I mean, it was 10 months, a legitimate 10 months of preparation, of putting together the roster, logistics. I mean, I always like to say it's almost like being a GM, head coach, assistant coach, Dobo, kind of all wrapped into one, because you're taking care of all that. And in order to have a great team, you can't skip any parts of that process. You just can't.
Right.
And I think that's what I learned going through my first year. But that's really how it all started. And then once you talk to the TBT and they lay it out for you and say, hey, this is what we want, this is what we want to see. Now they turn you loose, and you gotta find a way to recruit. You find a way to make sure that, whether it's funding or whether it's, making sure that these guys are taken care of, and making sure that it's an experience that they want to come back to year after year. And that's really what has been the focus. So that's really how it all started. And now, and since then, it's certainly taken off, to no surprise, how passionate this fan base is. So,
Yes.
that was the inception of it.